I guess in my view, there were two big things this year that we wanted to accomplish. One was to find out where those metals were coming from. After years of relentless digging, Oak Island has yielded a shocking revelation. Lagina's lawyer has lifted the veil on something monumental that was never meant to be uncovered. Join us as we dive into this latest discovery and unravel the mystery. How the quest began. For many years, treasure hunters have been drawn to the mysterious Oak Island, each one hopeful that they might be the ones to uncover its hidden secrets. The island, with its dense forests and murky swamps, had long been the subject of legends and tales. Whispers of buried treasure and lost riches filled the air, luring adventurers from all over. The Lagina brothers, Rick and Marty, were no different. They were captivated by the mystery of Oak Island and determined to solve it once and for all. With each passing year, they dug deeper into the island's history and its soil, driven by a burning desire to find whatever was buried there. As their search progressed, they began to piece together a puzzle that stretched back centuries. One name kept coming up: Samuel Ball. One of the most thrilling moments came when Jack Bigley and Charles Barkas, members of the Lagina brothers team, made a recent discovery that sent shockwaves through the group. They found what appeared to be a hidden passageway beneath a piece of land that had once belonged to Samuel. Could this be the tunnel that would lead them to the treasure they had been searching for? The possibility was enough to make Rick's heart race. He and Billy Gart decided to launch a detailed investigation, hoping to reveal more about this mysterious passage. As they explored further, the team noticed a strange, obvious gap beneath the rocks. This was no ordinary gap. It perfectly matched an anomaly that had shown up in their earlier scans of the island. The sight sent a shiver down Rick's spine. Without a doubt, he pointed to the gap and called it what he believed it to be: a tunnel. One of the most intriguing pieces of evidence linked to Ball was a mysterious stone found on Oak Island, engraved with his initials, SB. The discovery of this stone set off a wave of speculation. Some believed it marked the location of buried treasure, while others thought it might be a clue left intentionally by Ball, a breadcrumb in the trail leading to whatever he had found. As the Oak Island team continued their exploration, they unearthed several ancient tunneling tools over the past year. These tools, including an iron chisel and two wedges, were believed to be over 600 years old, far older than Ball's time on the island. This raised even more questions. What were these tools doing here, and how were they connected to the newly discovered tunnel? Some experts suggested that these tools were used to construct tunnels or vaults, possibly to hide treasures or artifacts that were too precious to be left out in the open. Among the team, Gary Drayton was particularly fascinated by the discovery. As an experienced metal detectorist and treasure hunter, Gary had seen many things on Oak Island. But this tunnel piqued his interest more than anything else. He believed it might hold the key to finding the island's lost riches. The thought of what could be lying just beneath the surface sent shivers of excitement through the team. The very next day, the team's excitement reached a fever pitch as they unearthed something that could change everything. It appeared they had found what looked like the long-rumored flood tunnel trap system, a crucial piece of Oak Island's puzzle. Rick, ever the cautious leader, felt the team's enthusiasm, but urged them to proceed with care. This was indeed a major find, but he knew all too well that they needed to verify their findings before jumping to any conclusions. The team had seen too many dead ends to let their hopes get ahead of the facts. Tying up any loose ends as they prepared to investigate the area in greater detail, the air was thick with anticipation. Each member of the team understood the significance of what they had found. If the tunnel really was part of the legendary trap system, it could lead them directly to the island's hidden treasures or to even more questions and mysteries. So the team began their careful exploration of the area, moving methodically across the site, eyes trained on every detail. It was a tense moment, the kind that made time feel like it was standing still. Each step forward held the promise of discovery. As they worked, something unusual caught their attention: strange movements in the sand. It was subtle at first, just a slight shift, almost like the sand was breathing. However, as they watched, the movements became more pronounced. The sand seemed to pulse and sway, like it was being stirred from below. Just 2 minutes later, the moving sand began to swirl, and it revealed a shallow dip forming right before their eyes. The dip grew deeper, and suddenly, a narrow crack appeared in the ground directly beneath where Maudie was standing. The team held their breath, watching as the crack widened, exposing something dark and mysterious inside. Maudie's sharp eyes zeroed in on the crack. He knelt down, peering into the darkness, and he saw it. What he found was wood. The sight sent a jolt of excitement through him. This wasn't just a random piece of driftwood, this was a deliberate structure, a carefully placed piece of timber. His heart pounded in his chest as he realized what they had found. This was the entrance to a tunnel. The air buzzed with excitement and a sense of urgency. Maudie called the rest of the team over, his voice barely able to contain his excitement. They gathered around, peering into the crack, each one trying to get a glimpse of the wood that lay beneath. This was the moment they had been waiting for, the moment when all their hard work and dedication seemed to pay off. Finally, they were beginning the tunnel's exploration. The team estimated that the entrance to the tunnel was about 15 feet deep. This wasn't just a small hole or a random gap, it hinted at a significant and carefully constructed structure hidden beneath the island's surface. The more they uncovered, the more it seemed likely that this tunnel was no ordinary passageway. It might be one of Oak Island's legendary flood tunnels, which, it seemed, was a key piece of the island's long-standing mystery. For generations, treasure hunters, researchers, and adventurers have searched tirelessly for this elusive tunnel. It was believed to have been built centuries ago, designed to flood the treasure chambers, protecting whatever riches lay inside from being discovered. The very thought of this made the team's hearts race. They might be standing on the brink of solving a centuries-old puzzle. At the same time, though, the tunnel's instability was a big problem. As they continued to dig and expose more of the tunnel, small rocks kept tumbling down, clattering into the darkness below. Each falling stone was a reminder that the structure was fragile, that centuries of erosion and shifting earth had weakened its walls. The crew knew they had to be incredibly careful. One wrong move could trigger a collapse, not only sealing off the tunnel, but also putting their own safety at serious risk. The thought of being trapped in a cave-in was a real and terrifying possibility. They had to balance their desire to explore the tunnel and uncover its secrets, with the need to stay safe and proceed cautiously. To ensure their safety and the integrity of the tunnel, the team began taking precise measurements and setting up supports. They used specialized tools to shore up the tunnel's walls, creating a safe environment in which to work. By doing this, they could analyze the tunnel's construction and contents without the constant threat of a collapse hanging over them. As they examined the tunnel more closely, they noticed something intriguing. Different types of wood were embedded within its walls, suggesting that this wasn't just a natural cave but a man-made structure. The sight of these wood beams raised even more questions. Who built this tunnel? What was its true purpose? Could it be part of a larger, more complex underground network that spanned the entire island? These were questions that no one had answers to yet, but each new discovery brought them closer to uncovering the truth. The presence of these different woods hinted at a level of craftsmanship and planning that was astonishing. It suggested that whoever constructed the tunnel had access to a variety of resources and knew exactly what they were doing. The idea that this could be part of a larger man-made network was both thrilling and daunting. If true, it meant there was still so much left to discover on Oak Island. From here on out, the team pressed on, filled with a renewed sense of purpose. 2 days later, their journey continued.